Welcome to Be Continued. We're your host. I'm Christian.
And I'm Riley.
A little bit of a voice crack,
Just going through puberty.
It's getting cut out.
All right. So, first, before we get into the movies later, that's going to be our next episode. But we have a quick episode to get into. Breaking news as of yesterday, it was the NFL trade deadline, but Josh Harris, Sixers owner and Commanders owner, wanted to have a busy day. So he started it off early with James Harden trade to the LA Clippers. I don't remember all the things that came with it. I do know the Sixers clearly won that trade. 2 first-round picks.
And a pick swap.
Pick swap, and there was also a later pick, too. And then there was 4 players.
I want to say it was Robert Covington,
Nicholas Batum, Marcus Morris, and
Kenyon Martin Jr.
No, maybe.
Yep.
I think that, and then the picks, right?
Yep.
For James Harden, PJ Tucker, and what was that rookie's name?
I don't remember.
Philippe Petrusev. They've already traded him.
Yeah, that.
Well, they traded him with Harden.
Yeah. No, like the Clips traded him. Sorry to interrupt.
All right.
All good.
So where did the Clippers trade him?
I feel like Riley was screaming at me.
Oh. My fault.
So yeah, I think that the Sixers just like dominated that trade. What's confusing to me is why anybody in their right mind still wants to trade for James Harden. You've seen in the span of 22 months, he's ate himself out of Houston. He has lazied himself out of Brooklyn by like half-heartedly showing up, and he has complained his way out of Philly and complained about the team president, the guy who essentially gave him the chance to become the legend of the beard, right? Like, if it hadn't been for the Rockets building their team around James Harden just scoring a bunch of points and never winning a meaningful game, he wouldn't be seen as this like incredible scorer that he is. Mm-hmm. And he is an incredible scorer. I don't want to take that away from him, but it's just I cannot believe that another team was willing to trade for that guy. Like I if I was a front office person, like, you know, like talk about NFL draft boards, like somebody might be like a first round pick, but you're just completely wiping them off the board, like that thug that the Eagles took in the first round. Like that's James Harden for me. Like, I don't care if he comes to play for me for free. I don't want him anywhere near my team. And so for the Sixers, they just got better because they got rid of him.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The only teams that I think should go for James Harden at this point in his career is like teams with a young player base who kind of need like a mentor player, and they don't really have like a ball dominant player yet, but they need somebody who's gonna like, because he's old, he's on his way out of the league, but he could help.
You want that guy to mentor young people?
No. The team
True.
I was going to say, I think the team that would have been perfect for would have been like a Toronto team. A team that has already won but now is on a decline, but needs somebody to bring tickets in. Hey, just let Harden go be the number one and go.
The only reasoning is that we've seen him with Kyrie and KD, 2 veterans, and that didn't work out. We've seen him with Joel Embiid and the young team of 76ers. That didn't work out. And we saw him by himself in Houston, and that didn't work out either. Even with Chris Paul or Russell Westbrook, it didn't work out. So the only team that I think should even get him would be like a retirement home team, which I guess that's what he's on now. So
Hey, this is something the Clippers, they're trying to bring in tickets because they have this new stadium. Owners trying to make money here. But the Clippers aren't a good team now, guys. Like, everybody's like, oh, they got these 4 superstars. Westbrook hasn't been good since, what, 18, 17?
He hasn't been a superstar.
he hasn't been a superstar. He wasn't too bad last year.
Washington.
He's been decent with the Clippers.
I think he was
But he's
decent
just
with
not a superstar
last year.
anymore.
He's
a serviceable player.
He's not Thunder's Westbrook anymore.
Or even the Rockets' Westbrook at
Yeah.
that point. Like, he was still decent in Houston.
But now that you're bringing in Harden, is Westbrook even usful anymore? Like,
So I was having this discussion with somebody the other day, and I was like, I said at the time, if the Clippers got Harden, which now they do, what I would do if I was the Clippers, I'd move Westbrook into the 6-man role like he was for the Lakers. Because what's the
he
point?
didn't like that.
He didn't like that. He lost all his confidence, and he said
play
that.
well.
He said now that he's back with the Clippers, he feels like he's gained his confidence, and he's actually that's why he's been playing better, is what he says.
But what's the point in having Westbrook, Harden, PG, Kawhi, and Zubac as your starting 5?
Because then for the 20 games that they're starting, that all 4 of them are starting, they're going to score like 50 points in the first half, 60 points in the first half.
That's another point I bring up with this trade. I'm like, you now have 3 of the same player. Like, 3 of them, any 3 you take together, they're kind of all the same player. 3 of them struggle to show up when they need to most. That's Westbrook, that's Harden, That's PG. 3 of them struggle with injuries when they are needed the most. Kawhi, PG, Harden. I mean, there's no way you can rely on this team. And everybody's like, what's a team that's affected by this? And somebody said, oh, the Lakers are affected by this. I'm like, come on now.
I think that is a spot where I think I would have rather seen James Harden end up there. Like, if I wanted something good for Harden and I wanted to see him, like, you know, like, do well, I think the Lakers would have been a good spot. Because you got LeBron. You're not screwing around with LeBron.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you're messing around like he did with the Sixers, LeBron, like, tell him take your ball and go home, dude. Like, we don't want you here. We don't need you.
LeBron's like, I'm here to win championships.
LeBron is like an unquestioned alpha. And he's not like... LeBron's a top 2, 3 player of all time, like, no matter who you ask.
Exactly.
So, like, he can say that to whoever he wants to.
Skip Bayless has him at number 9 all the time. So
I mean, even that idiot makes it top 10. Man, I was watching Undisputed today, and just some clips from it, and just watching Keyshawn Johnson talk basketball. Like, I don't know like that much basketball. I like to watch it. I like the Sixers, but like Keyshawn,
no,
get that dude off. Like, he should not do an NBA segment ever.
No,
Richard Sherman is like really good. Like, I haven't watched much of it recently since Shannon Sharp left, and I haven't watched any First Take because I don't really respect Stephen A. Smith or ESPN. I'll occasionally like catch a clip of it on YouTube, and that's it. But like, man, I like Richard Sherman. You know, I didn't really like him before. Like, I think because he was on the Seahawks and, you know, Rams guy. But you can tell when he talks that, like, he's really smart. He knows what he's talking about. Keyshawn is just like not.
So when they're talking football, it's actually really interesting. But they're starting, when we get deeper in the NBA season, I think Undisputed will start bringing in a more basketball-centric thing. Because you can see it, they're already starting to bring in names.
Yeah, they did have Rachel Nichols, like, moderating.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler's girlfriend. We just got to keep... I'm sorry, but you know what? We're off topic.
Or is Jimmy Butler her girlfriend? Did you see that? Did you see his opening day photo? Did you see that hair?
Paces.
That's his new look.
All right, but anyway,
Jimmy.
So let's get away from the Clippers, and let's move to the other side of this trade, who I think won this trade by a landslide. And just as of our last video, I said the Sixers are not a contender in the East. Well, guess what? I didn't think there was no way in God's green earth the Sixers would be able to get what they got for James Harden, because who would give this up for James Harden? Like, to me, the Clippers would have been smarter just giving up Trey Mann in the first. Like, this is way worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gave up. The Clippers were one of the deeper teams in the league.
Yeah, you gave up your whole depth.
Now they gave up 3 guys that are like good, valuable forwards that can play, that can guard multiple positions. And what you got back out of it was James Harden, who doesn't guard anybody, and PJ Tucker, who used to be able to guard people, but he's now like 1,000 years old, and he is just clogs the ball on offense. He cannot hit a spot up 3. No. Like, you can't just like throw him that open ball because he will miss it. Like,
he also can't make space at all.
Yeah, I mean, he used to be able to shoot the 3 a little bit, which is why he was really valuable. Mm-hmm. He can't anymore.
Nope.
And so that's why, to me, the Sixers got like a better version of PJ Tucker 3 times over with Marcus Morris and Rocco, who they never should have let go. I always loved Rocco. Man, he just brings me back to the process, and he was a great fantasy player because he would just get all kinds of steals and hit some 3s, and you know, he was the only good thing the Sixers had going for a while. But so I'm glad he's back. And yeah, I just think this is such a great trade for the Sixers. I wonder what's next, because they're set up with all kinds of cap space this offseason. All those guys are also free agents after the year. Mm-hmm. And they're also set up to, if they have a midseason thing. So, like, I've seen Zach LaVine's name mentioned. I don't know that would be my first choice. I've seen OG and Nunubi, whatever, the dude from Toronto.
Yeah.
I've even seen Siakam. That would be like a weird fit to me, with like a power forward and a 4 and a 5 is kind of like your 2. Well, I think Maxi's number 2, but like,
hold up now.
And because neither Siakam or Embiid are really like.
I think Maxi's number 1 now. We can all agree on this, right?
Yeah, he's having a superstar season this year.
He's the best player in the NBA. So.
Oh my goodness.
He is.
Come on.
He's the best player in the NBA.
Is he? Let's actually think. Is he top 5?
Yes, he's top 1.
He's the only player that has outlasted every era of the process.
All right, who's better, Jokic or Embiid?
Embiid.
How many championships does Embiid have?
How many does Jokic have without Jamal Murray?
Hold up, who's in the tougher conference?
True. Every time Jamal Murray isn't there, they
First
lose.
round sweep.
How many
Sweep
MVPs does Embiid have?
1. Should have 3.
Hey, how many conference championships has Embiid ever played in?
That's not his fault.
It's true.
He's only had one time when he was playing with a good team, and that was a lucky bounce that held him out.
Here's the better.
Then he would have had a free finals.
Here's the better question: how many playoff injuries does Jokic have?
Well, because he's like a non-athlete.
Yeah,
He's
he
just
doesn't.
plodding
He
up
doesn't
and down the
move.
court.
He doesn't move. Jokic doesn't play basketball to play Jokic doesn't play basketball to like run and show off his athletic ability. This is like a side gig for him.
You ever watch Jokic play against an actual good center like Embiid? Jokic is terrible. He's terrible against Embiid.
Hey,
Embiid dominates him
because Embiid actually gets up. He gets up for that game
because he's an athlete.
but
That's why he gets hurt.
Game.
And honestly, I might just be blanking, but I can't think of many dominant centers like Embiid that are in the West that can contest Jokic consistently.
No,
The only
Nobody.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. Now this is the most important question. How many horse races has Embiid ever won?
oh, that's true.
I mean, like,
That's true.
come on,
I mean,
man.
what?
Horse races. Jokic is a big horse better.
No, he's a big
Okay.
horse racer too. Like, ooh.
Big horse.
Anyway,
Hey, whoa. Who's Embiid got to go against in the East? Because Jokic has to go against AD, who's arguably the best
Giannis.
defensive big man.
Giannis.
Okay, Giannis just gets
Giannis, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. And then you got Bam Adebayo. You got
Kristaps
Kristaps Porzingis. Is a different man this season.
Al Horford. Used to have Robert Time Lord Williams, the coolest name in the NBA, coolest nickname in the NBA.
Once upon a time, Tristan Thompson.
He's back.
He is back. He's on the gas.
Yeah. All right. So, anything else you want to add to this?
Claxton.
Oh, Claxton.
True, forgot about Claxton.
I did too.
He's better than any center in the West,
Didn't
Oh,
Claxton?
no. Kayvon Looney.
other than Yoke.
I like Kayvon Looney because he gets rebounds and that's
Hey,
it. That's all he needs to do.
There was Steven Adams, but Steven Adams is now hurt.
But I'm really curious.
Yes.
Like, I really, honestly, I'm just excited to see what the Sixers do next.
Oh, I am too. The Sixers, to me, are now the most intriguing team because if these pieces fit in how I think they will, and Maxey keeps playing the way he is, and I think everybody, I keep hearing, some people in the media are like, oh, there's no way Maxey keeps this up. And I'm like, did you not remember what Nick Nurse did with Fred VanVleet? Like, before Nick Nurse showed up in Toronto, Fred VanVleet was a nobody. And then he became a somebody, and now he's in Houston.
You know
Guess what?
who else Maxey kind of reminds me of? Over at OKC, Gilgeous-Alexander.
Shy. Oh.
Because he just, like, his first year, he was, like, good, not great. Then he got traded to a situation where he played more, really good. And then every year, he just kind of got better and better and better. And Maxey's kind of a similar deal where his first year, he didn't play a ton. And the more he played, the better he looked. And then last year, he looked really good. And then so far this year, like, I think he's like, still ascending. Like, I think this could be who he is. Like, he might be.
This is who
He is an
the
all-star
the
caliber
Sixers
guard.
wanted Markel Fultz to be.
To me, this is the first year where I'm like, okay, this is Daryl Morey's version of what the Sixers should be. Because, yeah, he brought in Harden, but he was really just trying to build the process on. Once he got rid of Doc Rivers and brought in Nick Nurse, him and Nick Nurse then came together like, okay, what's going to be this team's new identity? And it was really, they wanted to see what they could get for Harden. And Trey Man would have been what they really wanted, but getting this depth helps their team out
This is
tremendously.
a better trade.
And
But from what I have heard and seen, everybody was just saying they want Trey Man because they can move him again.
Yes.
Like, they didn't want Trey Man because of how he would fit in Philly. They wanted Trey Man because they thought they could get something else for him.
And the first round pick, or the pick that they, like the highest round pick that they got is 2028. And by then, all four of those players on the Clippers are going to be retired or old and barely playing.
I do not want to hear, though, anymore from any Philadelphia fans. Daryl Morey sucks. Dude, I want you guys to think about this. Daryl Morey got more for James Harden than Portland got for Damian
Yeah,
Lillard.
but the jury's still out on Daryl Morey. Like, they haven't gotten better since he got there. They're, as you love to say, how many times have they got to the Eastern Conference Finals? How many finals have they got to? So you can't tell me that, like,
Well,
you
the
can't
teams
just
are there.
absolve him of all blame.
The teams are there. He just didn't have the right coach. He has the right coach.
And they have, now they
We'll
have
see.
the right conference too. The only person they got to go against is the Celtics.
And Embiid didn't have his trainer before.
I mean, the Bucks do have
Pat
Wood
Beverly's
and
now there. Did you hear?
True.
Did
Drew
have you heard
Christian
what
thinks
Pat,
is the greatest player of all time, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Giannis is not the greatest player of all time.
Yeah, surprising. I would have thought differently last week when we were talking.
I said he's a good player, but I didn't even have him in the finals.
Yeah, you got all Wentz on me when they started talking bad about Giannis.
You know, this man wants Carson Wentz on
I would love Carson Wentz on the Rams.
Dude,
Yeah.
Carson Wentz is just a personality to have. I don't like him on the football field. outside of Philly.
I love him on a football field. He's a roller coaster. He makes a great play. You're like, oh my goodness.
I like
throw a pick six. You're like, oh my goodness.
Those are those analytics you're into.
I like Wentz with both of his knees, but then once the one knee was decimated, and then
I like Wentz with a functional brain. That's once he got the concussion, that was really the end. But
it's after he had his kid and got married, all went downhill.
Seriously, women ruin everything.
No priorities after that.
Exactly.
Man of God. All right. Anything else we want to add to James?
Good
Harden?
riddance.
All right.
Good luck in LA.
Anyway, hey,
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
First round exit LA.
I'll keep an eye on you. Not going to get.
Won't
my
even
hopes,
make it to playoffs.
Not going to get my hopes too up on Philadelphia. Philly's going to Philly, but
They'll do
I
something.
I'm wrong because I would love to see Embiid win a ring.
Who do you want to see him trade for?
What I'm really hoping is they keep the team the way it is. Like, I want to see this
And just
team.
see like the off season.
And then if there's a third star you need to pick up, you got the max slot. Like, I think this year they should use for really getting Embiid and Maxi's chemistry as much as they can. And
Yeah.
Unless there's an injury or something, or there's a huge play. Let's say Devin Booker or Bradley Beal get to the deadline and they're like, okay, this isn't really working in Phoenix. Let's get out of here. Or the more likely option, he wants out.
Yeah.
Bring them on.
The only gap in the Sixers team that I can think of right now is their small forward spot. They got Kelly Oubre, I think, that unless he's playing shooting guard.
He's been tremendous.
I know, he has been playing good. That's true. But I think if they need to keep Kelly Oubre starting because he has been good so far.
The thing that I'll say the Sixers need to work on is they could get a little better at shooting.
Yeah, I'd love to see him pick up a Buddy Hield, but Buddy Hield I think is signed past this year, so they're not going to go out and get him unless they really decided if they trade for is Levine a free agent after this year?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe not him, but if they trade for somebody that's under contract beyond this year and they're just like, you know what, we're not going to worry about that max cap spot, then I could see him going and doing a Hield. Because I think he would fit them really well.
I know it would never happen, but a perfect player for the Sixers right now, even at this stage in his career, would be like a Klay Thompson. But there's no way the Warriors would even think about trading him.
Could come in free agency.
He could.
Sixers gonna have a lot of money to spend. They're probably gonna sign LeBron.
LeBron hasn't been drafted yet.
Yeah.
And LeBron signed an extension.
That's why they want all them draft picks. He can opt out though, right? Can he opt out?
I want to say after next
I
year.
think he can opt out after this year.
He probably can. Anyway.
If I was LeBron, I would sign a contract so I could opt out after every year. Just
smart.
You know what? Y'all getting on my nerves. I'm out. I'm 38
It's
years
true.
old. I'm not waiting around.
It's true.
All right, James Harden.
Anyway, please like.
See ya.
Please subscribe. And until next time.
To be continued.